now tuned into FNL Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another The Doc Report video. Everybody, it's your boy Doc coming at you all here on the FNL Live channel, everyone. And first off, before I start, I gotta say thank you all for your continuous support and love for the show, everybody. Continue to subscribe, like, comment to these videos, and again, it's been a fun time, so let's continue the fun, everybody. So thank you all. Look up for another FNL video coming very soon, everybody. So stay tuned for that. But and this video in particular, you know, lately I've been doing a lot of videos for the Doc Report show, where I've been doing a lot of reminiscing and going back in time with a lot of these albums and things like that has come out. So in this video in particular, I'm reminiscing on an album that came out 15 years ago today, everybody. On June 24th, 2003, Beyonce dropped her solo debut album, Dangerously in Love, everybody. So if y'all remember this album, now I always tell you all in my videos, you know it's real when you had a CD for a long time, when you had the cracks in the case, the original album promo sticker on the back. Daddy is not a track up there. Daddy was just a bonus track somewhere floating out in the air after Gift from Virgo, and you just had to listen to the album just to hear that song. But yeah, so this is how you know it's the original album that came out the day of. And I remember I was 13 when this album came out, and I got it from Circuit City. Shout out to Circuit City and Jano Shopping Center. And I remember it was like, some 2003 was like, I mean, it was such a lit time at that point, because some 2003 you had a lot of songs out. You had 50 with 21 Questions. You had Maya with My Love Was Like Whoa. Monica So Gone was out. You had Lil Jon, the Eastside Boys, the Yin Yang Twins with Get Low. You had hell, you just had a lot of songs. Khalees with Milkshake. Before it really popped off. You had a lot of songs that really came out. Sean Paul with Like Glue. A lot of hot records that came out that time. So Summer 2003 was a very lit time. So if you have a favorite song from Summer 2003, you know, drop it in the comments below. And then also Ashanti, her album Chapter 2 came out the next week after Beyonce. So I remember Rock With You All Baby was a hot record that summer as well. And people comparing the two, remember that whole time frame. But when Beyonce dropped her album though, I remember I was it came out because then I think after Ashanti's album came out as well, it was 4th of July weekend, and that's when my family had our family reunion weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I remember like this album, Ashanti's album, 50's album, somebody else's album too was on like heavy rotation for me. Philadelphia Free was on heavy rotation for me too, because those were my favorite albums that came out during that time frame. So yeah, definitely listen to those albums. Someone was in that mix too. I can't remember who was in that mix as well. But anywho, when this album came out, I'm gonna really take her down memory lane. So I remember when Beyonce was supposed to drop her solo album and everything like that in 2002. I'm not sure exactly to this day who paid Dust to Work It Out from the Austin Powers soundtrack. That was my shit though, and again, it's not because I was like, you know, like I always tell you all, I'm a huge fan of the Neptunes, a huge fan of Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, because they're from the 757 as well. I think because I was in bands, you know, I've been in bands since 6th through high school, so I love live instrumentation. So for me at that point, I was really gravitating towards live instrumentation records, and it was such a different kind of song at that time too, because Work It Out was very 70s funk, you know, inspired and everything like that, because of the Austin Powers soundtrack, because of that 70s influence, but also because it was just so different. I remember when she performed on One System Park, and she had the, you know, the 70s Foxy Cleopatra wig on with the live band, very Tina Turner-esque. So I remember that whole time frame, and even the people in the One System audience, you could tell they didn't get it at the time. But I feel like if Work It Out was kind of released as a single now, it'll be more appreciated, if that makes sense. You know, you see a lot of people right now with a lot of 70s, you know, grooves and things like that, or a lot of throwback sounds that's heavily appreciated now because more like indie kind of feel. But I feel like Beyonce could have, you know, if she would have at least worked it out nowadays, it could have worked out. And I still wish she would have performed at Coachella, but hey, that's not a day. But anywho, So I remember that whole time frame that song flopped, and then they went ahead and geared everything towards Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams solo albums, because Kelly had the big hit Dilemma with Nelly. Michelle was doing her thing with the gospel music. I remember too when Beyonce in 2003, early 2003, when she came out with her version of 50 Cent in the Club, and I remember Columbia and Music World, of course, wanted her to do something more in that lane. They wanted her to do something more in that kind of lane with that record because it was getting radio airplay and everything like that. So I remember at one point they wanted her to release that as her single, and I remember a lot of people were doing that too with the 50 records. They were kind of releasing that as their single, if you will, or whatever. But um, fortunately for us, they went around, turned around, and even Beyonce, when she mentioned it on her Live from Vegas concert several years ago, she said Columbia told her she had not one hit on this album because when she came up with Crazy in Love, and she had all the other songs up there. If you listen to the album, this album is like heavily mature because this is like a far stretch from what Destiny's Child did with the Survivor album, kind of in the vein of what they did with their first two albums, with Destiny's Child and with The Writings on the Wall, because those are some heavy R&B tracks on those albums. But then Survivor was more like the pop album, if you will, the more commercial album, because that's when they hit that plateau. But with this album, Crazy in Love, again, was another go-go inspired Rich Harrison production that just had a big sound to it and just was infectious from jump. I remember when the video was supposed to come out on making the video at one point, then they postponed the video and they waited until I think it was like May or something to actually release that release the video and do the what you call it, the making the video episode on MTV. But it was like anticipated though, because it was like, okay, how is Beyonce going to come with this, her solo sound? So Crazy Love had Jay-Z on it. That was the second collaboration at that point because they did '03 Bonnie and Clyde, and then they went ahead and did this record, and that's even sparked more of the dating rumors, at that point. So I mean, it was a hot record from jump, and then again it had that go-go DC sound to it, courtesy of Rich Harrison, and I loved it from jump. I remember it was just different. Then the whole "Uh-Oh" dance came out, which took the world by storm. That was the original single ladies for Beyonce. I remember she performed on the BET Awards that night as well. That was her first solo performance at an award show. And she came out the gate swinging, the big lit up Beyonce sign on stage, and big letters at that, as the platform on stage, and her and Jay-Z, she kind of confirmed their relationship. She was like, all right, baby, at one point during his verse when he's rapping. So, it was just a whole moment around this whole album time frame. That could have come at a better time too, because that was like the perfect time to perform at an award show. Album's coming out that Tuesday. It was just the greatest promo for her. So, Crazy in Love ended up going #1. Then Baby Boy is the second single. Another hot record too. Scott Storch produced it. Sean Paul was on it. Still to this day now, Jay-Z. You out here, you cheated with Becky with the good hair. You gotta let Beyonce perform Baby Boy with Sean Paul just one good time. We still not have that one good performance. We had one performance with Sean Paul and Beyonce, years ago in 2003, but it was like a televised.
Girl, drive round the town in your drop top, girl, in a stop shop, girl. Little more than dirty one, rock that, well, use a top girl. Me and you together is a rock that, girl. Drive round the town in your drop top, girl, top shop, girl. Little more than dirty one, rock that.
It was just like a performance just out there somewhere.
Follow your feeling, baby girl. You cannot be denied. Me in the night to make good, get it down to fight. But I get to run the ship, man, I go slip, man, I go slide. In other words, the love I got to keep it certified. But give it this love gets dive, alright. Sing!
But we just need a good Sean Paul and Beyonce performance for the culture one good time. So, but Baby Boy, the video was crazy too. I remember the video when that came on Access Granted. Jake Nava directed that video as well, along with the Baby Boy video. I mean, with the the Crazy in Love video. And I just remember too. Y'all remember there was like two versions. I know I'm not tripping. There were like two versions of the Baby Boy video. Like, I remember before she did her little dance break, flipping in the sand and whatnot, doing her little acrobats and whatnot. I remember one scene where they had a close-up of her with the wrap on, with the black wrap on around her. And then there was another version where it's like a faraway shot of her with the black wrap around her. it was. I feel like there was some other stuff too. I gotta look it through my VHS collection and find that, but I know there was two versions of it. 'Cause I know there was one version from the original Access Granted, and then there was another one that premiered as well somewhere else. Um, and I remember too, she had a tattoo on her thigh. Now, I still to this day don't know if she got that. You know, young me, I was 13 when that video came out, so I always thought that was a real tattoo that she got because she mentioned it in the song Daddy when she got her first tattoo. But I think she had years later. I'm thinking she had a whole fake tattoo situation. You know, little, go to the bubblegum machine and get the water and put the little tattoo in your thigh real quick. That's what I thought she did. Then Me, Myself, and I was the third single. A crazy concept to a lot of us at that age because of her walking backwards through the video and things like that, and you see the transition of her and the guy in the video and what led up to her cutting her hair, and years later you would see that same bob during the Beyonce era. But then you saw him, her key in the car and everything like that. It was a whole video, so I love that video too. And then years later we saw the original video where she just walked through. 'Cause I remember too on the Access Granted she had more scenes that she did in the video with her in the mirror and stuff like that. Shout out to the three in mirror that you see in the fitting room. So I remember that whole scene too. So that video came out. That single did good. Peaked at number 4 on the charts. Then then Naughty Girl came out. That was the last single off the album. Jake Nava directed that video. It was a performance shot kind of video. It was just her in performance scenes, doing different dance routines and whatnot. Usher was in the video as well. Very Vegas showgirly, hot record. I remember the Lil Flip remix as well was dope as well. They played that a lot on the radio, on urban radio. That single peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. And y'all remember Dangerously in Love too? When Dangerously in Love came out, yeah, cause it actually I forgot it was titled Dangerously in Love 2 on here because if y'all remember Dangerously in Love, I was still stuck. 'Cause I was like Dangerously in Love was the song on Destiny's Child album. 'Cause I remember they performed that on tour and everything. I remember from the album and stuff like that. So I was like, Beyonce, you really gonna name your solo album Dangerously in Love? That's kind of selfish, but cause she wrote and co-produced it, so might as well take the song. But it really the only thing that changed was a little few minor production advances here and there on her version of it. But you still heard the Destiny's Child in there though, Kelly and Michelle. So I remember when they had the live video when she did that tour live in Wembley, and they performed and they showed Midnight Soul, and whatever video show would come on BET at that point will play the hell out of that Beyonce version or that live version of Dangerously in Love 2 from the Live in Wembley DVD. So that was like the video, because that song was getting airplay as well during that time frame. So that could have been a bigger hit too. But they just released it more so as a radio single. She had to do it with Luther Vandross, The Closer I Get to You on here. Hip Hop Star with Big Boy and Sleepy Brown was one of my favorite songs too. I wish that was a single. I wish she would still perform that today as well. Yes was a good record. Signs with Missy Elliott is forever my shit. It's so dope. Like, yeah, it's talking about the astrologies and whatnot and the signs. Tyrese did a song similar to that the year before, Signs of Love Making, but it was something about Beyonce's version with Missy's pen to the pad. It was so dope, and Missy up there doing the reverse flip effects on her vocals as well with Beyonce's. It was so dope. Like, this was a great song, and I still wish to this day there was a video for it or it's released as a single. And I feel like Columbia wanted to push it as a single at one point, because if y'all remember vividly, I remember when they were doing the commercials for the Beyonce album for Dangerously in Love before it came out. At the end of the commercial, they would play a snippet of that last note on the song when Beyonce on the last notes of Sign. So it was meant to be something at one point, but we just didn't get it as a single. But it was still a dope record though. That's How You Like It. Now B and J are on the Run 2 tour right now. I said this, like, y'all can't do a rehash of the same tour. If y'all not coming out with this album, y'all gotta do something else. Hell, perform That's How You Like It. It's the most cheesy song on the album, and it's a nice little love song for them. I think years later I gravitated towards it, because I was like, oh, it wasn't so bad, but it's still cheesy as hell now. But I was like, just performing one good time, remix it or something on the Run 2 tour, but that's not happening. But that was on there as well. Speechless is forever Beyonce did her thing with Speechless, and even performing it on the Beyonce Experience tour, she really gave it that sultry attitude to it, and Speechless was so sultry as hell, was so bedroom ready. That was like the after 10 p.m. Quiet Storm joint up there. So that was a hot record as well. Be With You is one of my favorite songs too, another Rich Harrison production. Yes, that's pretty much the whole album. Like this whole album, the interlude Gift from Virgo was a good favorite as well. Daddy could do without because who would have known that Matthew Knows to Be a Dog years later. But this album was really like hands down one of the best debut albums. There could have been some other songs on here. I really feel like they should have put What's This Going to Be could have been on here. That could have been on here for sure with the Tupac sample. My First Time produced by the Neptunes should have definitely been on here too, but I see why it wouldn't fit in the mold of it, but it still could have been on here. But yeah, this was a good album. Even the album cover. I remember this album cover. I was like, do I see a nipple? And I remember 13-year-old me trying to search and find to see if I see a nipple through this diamond encrusted situation that Beyonce had on with a pair of jeans before House of Darion. I'm pretty sure there's some 7 jeans or something, but that's all the girls like back in the day was the 7 jeans. But yeah, I remember like this whole this whole thing was so effortless, so beautiful, and Beyonce's wig game is stepped from a long way. Even her productions, as far as her stage productions and her stage presence, because I'm not gonna lie, Beyonce had some terrible wigs during that whole era. She was trying to match her tone. Lace fronts was starting to come in, and she was trying to find her way. And she found her way years later, but she was trying to find her way during that time frame. Nothing worse than that damn Beyonce Experience tour wig, though. I hated that. But anywho, yeah, she was finding her way. Another thing too was, like I said, production or stage productions. Like when she first did her solo tour with her Dangerously in Love tour overseas, and when she did the ladies' first tour with Missy and Alicia Keys, like you could tell her stage productions and her presence and her getting out of that shell. Sasha Fierce started to come alive and stuff like that. So you really started to see her really come into her element years later, with the next album and things like that. But she was just finding her footing as a solo artist, so I could understand why. This is her first time, so of course it's not going to be as great, but she did amazing for her first album. 4 hits on here, 2 of them number ones, another 2 of the top 5 hits. So again, this was a great album. It's been 15 years. It doesn't feel like it. I feel like this album had I don't know, this album where you put it in the CD disc drive and you get like a little bonus video or something like that. I feel like there was a version of that album that was released. But again, it's been 15 years since Dangerously in Love, and yeah, everybody, y'all rock out to your Dangerously in Love album today. Y'all tell me what your favorite tracks were on this album in the comments below. Again, follow me on Twitter at MrDocMRDOC. Snapchat the Doc Report, Instagram MR_DOC. Stream Beyonce's Dangerously in Love on Tidal and all that good other stuff, and I'll check out another video another time, everybody. So, but again, it's been 15 years since Dangerously in Love, and yeah, everybody, y'all rock out to your Dangerously in Love album today. Y'all tell me what your favorite tracks were on this album in the comments below. Again, follow me on Twitter at MrDocMRDOC. Snapchat the Doc Report, Instagram MR_DOC. Stream Beyonce's Dangerously in Love on Tidal and all that good other stuff, and I'll check out another video another time, everybody. So, peace.